Hi, and welcome to MBA 771. This is the fall 2018 recording. I'm getting this out just a couple of days late, and I do apologize for that. I do like to record a new video every semester. And so what had originally queued up a couple days ago, and I know you got a news item, was an old video, and I deleted that right away because I wanted to spend time to record a new video. And really, this is my way of just sharing a little bit about myself and my background, my approach to teaching, so that you get to know the professor on the other side of the screen a little bit. And I know some of you had me in previous classes, and that's why I can't use the same PowerPoints. I think some of the Facebook cute little catches that you can do and add little memes to yourself. It's funny, I had this picture to the far right of your screen. The looks like the old guy with the wizard beard. I was actually selling my boat this last summer, and the guy came up to meet me at my cottage, and he just stared at me, and he's like, I was expecting an older guy with a beard. And so he literally thought that was my photo. It was kind of funny. About my family, I've been married to my wife Linda now for 23 years. That is a picture of us in May, the end of May, about 2 hours after I finished my doctoral dissertation defense in Whitewater. We're driving back home and stopped and had a nice meal and a couple of drinks in celebration. The other picture is my family. That is my son's graduation in June. Alexander is now attending UW Milwaukee, where he just started 2 weeks ago. I dropped him off there. Linda and I dropped him off. And you also see my other son, who is a sophomore. Keep in mind, I'm 6'4". Alexander's 6'6", who just graduated, my short son. And then my tall son is Calvin, who is 6'8"-ish. I don't know, freaky tall. And my wife's standing on the porch, which is kind of funny. Again, some pictures of the family, wife's senior pictures, my son's senior pictures, a picture of my older son as Shrek, and then the two pictures of my younger son and some basketball things that he likes to do and we're part of. Look, the truth is, I don't do hobbies. I just spent 3.5 years working on my dissertation and doctoral DBA program, which was 30 to 40 hours a week. I haven't fly fished or even sat on my motorcycle in a couple years, but I'm hopeful yet this fall to get out on a motorcycle ride, because those are fun kind of events. That is how our garden looks. We just pulled out 2 trailer loads of weeds. So we are awesome at growing weeds and not much else. But that's our small scale hobby farm that we like to grow. So I live in Green Bay. I live in Howard, just outside of Green Bay, Wisconsin. I commute to Oshkosh, which is about an hour away. Our cottage is an hour and 15 minutes away. I spend a lot of time on the road. And so I get through a lot of books. I'm a little behind where I've been the last couple years. But I listen to a lot of books. And so audiobooks, either from Audible or from the local library, you can download and listen to. And let me tell you, one of the tricks on audiobooks is to listen to them faster than 1.0. I've read a number of studies over the last couple years that I've been doing this. Studies show at a 1.0, like even now, you're listening to my voice at 1.0, and you can think about other things while I'm talking. Your mind can process information quicker than I can speak. So that studies show, actually, if you listen to recordings at about a 1.5 or 1.75, your brain will automatically snap to attention and not at all let go. And so I listen to books a little bit faster than normal so I can get through them a little bit. And the idea is your attention span increases and actual retention increases by listening to them just a little bit faster. It always makes my wife mad when she jumps in the car and there's Alvin and the Chipmunks shooting off the radio. And she's like, how can you listen to it this quick? I'm like, yeah, you build up to it. You don't just jump in. So I listen to, whatever book comes up that is of interest, fiction, nonfiction, trashy novels, to beautiful history books, to science fiction, just kind of whatever comes available and is of interest to me at the time, gets listened to. The one thing I do is we do stream. My wife and I do stream a number of shows. And so I couldn't believe when I put this list together of what I'm currently streaming. I'm kind of embarrassed. You know how streaming is. You give up 2 or 3 days and 4 days and a week, you can get through a whole series. House of Cards, Better Call Saul, the prequel, Superstore, hilarious. Man in the High Castle, Wonderful series. Black Mirrors, if you're interested in technology at all, watch the Black Mirrors. 911, just a typical drama. I haven't watched that in a while. LA to Vegas, they canceled it. It was kind of funny. Westworld, amazing. Again, another one of those amazing sci-fi future robot kind of shows. Handmaid's Tale, Top Chef, our only reality show, and Ozark. So those are some of the shows that I watch. Don't watch a lot of regular TV other than football and some baseball lately. So my mission statement, there's a reason I started teaching. When I was consulting, I owned my own consulting practice, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. And we were consulting with a large NFL franchise in the state of Wisconsin and helping them through some strategic planning approaches for a new president that was joining the organization a couple of years ago, 8-9 years ago. And we went through an exercise to really help them identify their real true north kind of statements. And I noodled out my own set of statements. And within 60 days, I had left my company. I took a little bit of time off and then started teaching. Really, for me, it is about engaging. And even in an online environment, which is a bit more difficult to engage, trying to have engaging material, trying to have engaging discussions, trying to have some engaging videos where appropriate. So it's really about engaging and then educating, spending the time to help people learn material. I have a lot of experience. There's great resources out there. It's my job, between my experience and bringing the right resources together, to provide a guided path. So engage, educate, and then ultimately enable students to be successful and to learn. And so when I noodled these three things out, engage, educate, and enable, it was life-altering. I left my company. I took 1.5 years off and then started teaching. And that teaching path has put me then into a second master's degree and then a doctorate degree. And here I am now today. So welcome. I really started my professional experience after doing some bookstore management stuff. I really started my professional experience at Schneider, where I spent a decade. And it's funny, my origin story into technology, I was actually a business guy. I was a pretty solid mid-level manager. I understood technology. I was really good with process. And so about 5 years into my career, I got tapped on the shoulder to come join IT. To leave my customer service management role and to join logistics and then IT and a number of different technology-based roles. They really wanted me for my process and business experience and just my ability to understand technology pretty quick. So I didn't go into a traditional IS, computer science, technology role. I really started from the business. And so in reading your introductions, a lot of you have taken IS courses and are now in IS roles. A lot of you are in IS roles like I ended up, starting in different places. So you never kind of know where you're gonna end up as you take classes and gain more experience. I then spent a couple years at Associated Bank, where I helped them put in their first ERP system. It was a PeopleSoft system that was spread across the entire organization. So I had some experience with ERP systems. I then started and managed my own consulting practice, which was kind of fun. It was really just me out consulting. Except 2 years later, I found myself with 30 employees and a business partner. And so we ran that business together for 5 years until I left the organization in 2009. And then I started teaching. I started teaching as a lecturer, moved up to senior lecturer, and ultimately became an assistant professor over the last year as I finished up and am finishing up my doctorate. I have a political science degree. That's my ultimate education background. I spent 10 years going to a number of different colleges and working, and finally finished with a political science degree from GB. Oops, sorry about that. I then, while working at Schneider, started and finished up my Master of Science in Information Systems. You know, it turns out I was working in a technology field. I really needed the credentials and some more formalized education in technology to really justify some of the things I was doing and where my career was going. And so that was ultimately a good move. I then, in the period of leaving my company and starting to teach, I started working on my MBA online, just as a hobby. At the time, I couldn't get a doctorate. There was no place to go to get a doctorate that didn't require 7 years of your life and full-time commitment on site. And so I just worked through my second master's degree in MBA from Whitewater. And then a number of years ago, 4 years ago, Whitewater started a on-site weekend doctorate program. And so once a month, I was in Whitewater, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 24, 30 hours a week, on site, 30 hours a month on site, Thursday evening, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, classes all day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And did that for just over 2 years, and then spent a year writing my dissertation, which I just finished defending and getting submitted over the summer. So an interesting process. A couple of you, one of you have talked about maybe thinking about a doctorate in the future. Look, I know you're working on getting through your master's, and you all have lives and new kids and new houses and new jobs. What else did I read about? New marriages, new husbands, new wives. At some point you may want to, continue your education. There are programs available for folks who are working full time to, do your degree full time. They allow them both to exist. If that's your interest, reach out to me and talk to me. We can talk about that. The last slide I have, I just do for all my classes, kind of my newest technologies. I spend a lot of time on my iPhone 8. And I spend a lot of time with Alexa. I have Alexa in my office in Oshkosh, and I have Alexa here in my living room here in my home. I don't have one in my home office. That would just be too many Alexas. So a little bit about me, just so you get to know who I am on a video perspective. I'm still reading through. I've got 3 or 4 more of your intro discussions to read. Please, and I think I noted this in one of my typed out news items to you, make sure you're tracking when you post something. Every once in a while, someone will reply to you and or ask a question. I don't expect you to manage every single thread that's out there, and our threads get a lot less starting with our individual discussions versus our large class discussion. But make sure you're tracking that people aren't responding to you, that folks aren't asking you questions. You don't have to reply to everyone who replies to you, but if someone's asking a question, or you can continue that discussion and dialogue asynchronously, please do that. So thanks. If you've got questions, we've got a raise your hand, ask the class kind of group. Make sure you're utilizing that. And we'll see you online. If you got any questions, let me know. Thank you.